Thank you for joining Jennifer Shelton Associates in our 2019 Webinar Wednesday series. We are coming to you live from downtown Washington, D.C. Our webinars are every Wednesday, and you can find the upcoming schedule on our website. Past webinars and all recordings are also on our website and on the YouTube channel, along with over 160 other recordings on federal contracting topics. All are complimentary. If you have questions for our speaker today, you can email him directly with the contact information you'll see on the last slide. And this is just a little bit about us. We are a Washington, D.C. based firm and provide services for federal contractors. This ranges from market analysis reports to proposal writing and also post-award compliance. More information is on our website, so please visit us there. We now offer advertising, so you can email me if you would like more information. And our webinar today is sponsored by AccuTrack. Here's a short message from them.
AccuTrack Consulting and Accounting Services is an 8A WOSB CPA firm committed to supporting entities to sustain growth in government contracting. Our outstanding DCAA accounting solutions reduce audit risk, improve cash flows, and give you peace of mind. Contact us today to learn how we can enhance your DCAA accounting efforts.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. Today our speaker is Alan Scheib, and he's going to be speaking about constructing a compliant proposal. Alan, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mallory, and thank you everyone for coming out this afternoon. So I think you'll find that this is going to be very straightforward. A little bit about myself. I'm Alan Scheib with BidSpeed. So we provide a number of services in the government business development and market arena there, both at the federal and state and local level. I've been in this for about 25 years there, flew in the Air Force, and then spent my last tenure in the Air Force there as what I like to call on the other side of the fence. So actually being on the reviewing side of proposals in the Oklahoma City Air Logistics Center there. So actually received proposals, was on review teams, and helped make the award recommendations there. So after that, I left and went on to a large contracting firm after I left the Air Force, and learned how to do all of the fun contracting part of it there, from proposal development, capture, all of the fun stuff. I'm a mechanical engineer by discipline, so obviously worked on many engineering projects there at many different levels there. So started BidSpeed back in 2009 there, and we decided to provide out a product that allows companies to do everything in a single location. So one of the things we work with our clientele on is helping them in constructing compliant proposals, right? So we're not a proposal house, and we do not do writing, although I've written my fair share of proposals there. We concentrate on making sure the compliancy part is there for our clients. And why is that important? Because that's about 25% of the actual response time from your burden, right? Meaning you're going to spend 25 to 30% of your time just getting ready to start writing your response there. So these are our recommendations, or what we always kind of follow through that. The first thing is keep all of the documents in a single location, right? So if the opportunity is on FBO, great. All the documents are usually there. Keep that link somewhere. Build you a folder. Get you a system like BidSpeed, or there's a number of other systems out there, and keep everything in a single location there. And then review any amendments as they're released and keep those documents flowing in there. The first thing, if you've got 15 documents or one document, is run through those documents, find the instructions. So don't just set your pen down and just click around and find where it says proposal instructions. Now, most of the time, this is defined as what we often refer to as Section L, as in Lima, and then the evaluation criteria in Section M, or as in Mike. So we often refer to it as L&M, Sections L&M, right? A lot of times you'll never find it called Sections L&M, right? You'll just find proposal instructions. So there's a lot of different government agencies out there. There's 30 or 40,000 different contracting officers all doing it a little different way, right? It's all guided by the FAR, but they're not necessarily doing it all the same way, right? It's pretty close to being standardized, but and they always release instructions and evaluation criteria, but it might read a little different. Most of the time, and I'll define that as 60 to 70% of the time, you're going to find an SF-49 or a standard form 1449. Sometimes that form will be called a standard form 30, right? You will find all of the FAR regulations and everything behind these forms, along possibly with the performance work statement buried in there. At the very end, you'll find sections L and M's. Anywhere from, could be 60 pages long, the entire document, I've seen them as far as 250 pages long, right? So find the documents, usually labeled RFP, or solicitation, or sometimes they'll identify it as 1449. So find the instructions, right? Don't worry about the other 150,000 pages that are in there. Just find the proposal instructions there and read it. They're going to say proposal instructions. You shall do this, right? You got to have a cover page. You got to have volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. See what they're asking for in the instructions there. And then find the evaluation criteria and read it. We're going to evaluate you on, management, staffing, and price, right? So they're going to have different things they're looking for there. So take the instructions, get rid of the other 150 pages. If you're one that likes to print the stuff out, throw all the other stuff away and just keep the instructions evaluation criteria. If you've got the ability to just delete, if it's in a Word document, delete everything except the instructions and evaluation criteria. Or if it's a PDF, I think most PDFs now you can convert those to Word fairly easy. There. I may be making it sound easier because I've got the full version of Adobe, which I think only runs me like $100 a year, actually, to be able to convert PDFs to Word there. And look at the instruction criteria, look at the evaluation criteria, and create an outline. So create that outline starting with the instruction. Write out exactly the way they're wanting it laid out, and then look at the evaluation criteria, go back in that outline and lay in where that evaluation criteria is happening. Now, a lot of times what you're going to see is that they may ask for you to put things in the proposal that aren't being evaluated. Now, does that mean you leave it out? No, because that becomes a part of the compliance, right? So you want to make sure that you are compliant with the RFP. However, you want to put a lot of your focus in the evaluation criteria, right? So, and give me an example. The FAR 52212-1 is the commercial proposal. You'll see that FAR called out probably 80% of the time. If you go to that FAR, it actually lays out, there's about 12 different things that they want every proposal to see. They want to see in every proposal and how it's laid out. So if you will take that FAR and you will build a template, a company template for you using that outline there, you will be 20% ahead of the RFP when it comes out. Take those instructions, lay it into the outline, lay the evaluation criteria over it, and you will naturally see where it starts to integrate that. Then take that outline and create a draft. At this point, don't worry about trying to write your solution or price your solution or anything like that, but complete the draft with a cover page. Go ahead and build your cover page that's table of contents and already has it, all your page numbering, headers, footers, appendices, so that by the time you do start writing, you have created that compliancy with the instructions that is married to the evaluation criteria there. And I would go as far in the evaluation criteria, if they're looking, let's say it's one document they're asking you for, and they're saying, well, your technical approach is going to be worth 30%, your staffing is going to be worth 30%. Put that in the header for that table of contents entry. Identify technical approach, and then out beside it, put parentheses, worth 30%. So let that evaluator know exactly what the section they're reading is one that's being evaluated there. So a little tidbit there, I mentioned back in the beginning that I've sat on the other side of the table. It makes the evaluator's job a lot easier if they know exactly what's being evaluated, because what happens is your proposal may not be read by one person. They're going to take your proposal and they may give one person the technical solution, they may give one person the key personnel, and those two people are going to have checklists there that are going to say, okay, was this there, was this there, was that there? There, and they're going to check that off, and then they're going to score it. So if you are pretty explicit in identifying that you know what's being evaluated and what's not being evaluated, and you can do that very easily by marking that in the header there, I think you give yourself a leg up there during that evaluation. Plus, you're able to then maybe summarize your line there with summarize some paragraph there with saying, hey, we feel like we've provided information that would score us at a 30% or whatever that scoring is. So you can really kind of use that to your advantage. Prepare that outline as a first draft there. Make sure you've got your cover page. Again, this all goes back to the FAR 52212-1. There, that is a good way to do it. You can prepare one right now without a requirement and just build out, so you're not having to figure out, because it's not every day that we're engineers and business folks, and you're out there, and it's not every day you go in and create a table of contents that's actually functional, right? So sometimes you have to dig in and watch some YouTube videos on how to operate Word in order to figure out how to set your table of contents up. So it's completely fair, right, to do that. So spend a little time organizing yourself up front there. Then when you've got all that done, start your writing, price it, review it, and then repeat that. Repeat that a minimum of 7 times, right? So go through, do your initial push in the writing, do your initial pricing, go back, look at it, say, okay, I've got a 15-page limit and I'm at 18 pages. What have I elaborated too much on? What have I not elaborated enough on? Go back through it, read it again, review it again, and just do that 7 times. Now, you're probably asking, why 7 times? We've got the data that shows that if one person sits down and does a draft, they're eventually going to wind up with 7 to 10 drafts by the time they are done. Whether it's just oops, I forgot to put the phone number in here. That's another draft. Or oops, I forgot to delete that, that red part out that was a little note to myself there. So write, price, and review, and repeat. Right. So keep doing that. Then once you've got that to a point where you're like, okay, I've got everything set here. I think I'm good. I've got my gold plated proposal response right here. Complete all the forms. Now, completing the forms in the 1449, a lot of this is just overlaying your company information and address and signing it. Same on the SF30. And then if there's any amendments there to the 1449 or the SF30, you're going to want to sign those cover pages as well and include those in your proposal, right? So go ahead and make sure, back in step number 5, go ahead and make sure that your appendices is already set up to absorb those forms, meaning you've got an appendices that says Appendix A, SF completed and signed SF 1449 or SF30 with amendments. There. So you've got an area when you go to package that it's already set. And then sometimes they ask for past performance questionnaire, sometimes they don't there. So you would complete all your forms and gather all that information and then package it together, right? So now you've got your proposal and all your forms signed and everything. Package all of that information together and deliver it to yourself as if you are the contracting officer there. And here's why. Write an email to yourself and make sure that, and to see if you really have built everything the way they've asked for it, and receive it as if you're the contracting officer. Pull that out and say, okay, I can clearly see they've got a cover letter, they've got everything signed there. This will avoid the mistake of, oops, we sent the wrong cover letter, or we had the wrong price in there, or we forgot to sign the amendments there. So take the time, take a day, take one email it to yourself or email it to your colleague if you're a two-man team. Email it back and forth to each other so that you can verify and substantiate that you have built the package that's going to be delivered there. And then deliver it to the procuring organization, and always copy yourself and do follow-up, right? So again, you want to put something in the email at the very front after you say, hi, Mallory, or hi, Alan, here's our proposal response. You want to put in there, say, please, and put it in bold, italicize it, underline it. Please reply to this email to verify receipt of our response, and all the attachments there. So you can always add the read receipts and everything like that too, but you would want to do this because once you get that reply from them there, you want to make sure that one, they confirm they got it, right? So and then continue to follow up with the CO during the award phase, right? So I'm kind of getting into another subject here, but once you have built that proposal, it is compliant and they have received it, don't be afraid to pick up the phone a week later, 2 weeks later, stay in touch with the contracting officer there and say, hey, what's the status of the award? When are you planning to make the award? There's always the blackout period there where they are not going to talk to you. But it doesn't mean that they can't say, hey, we're still in review. And I've asked a number of times, am I still in the running there? And they've actually answered me before. So you want to stay in communication with that contracting officer there as well. So to summarize here, I can't emphasize enough to just go dig in, find the instructions and valuation criteria, keep all of your documents in a single location there, and then integrate those two, the evaluation criteria and the instructions together to create your outline. That's going to ensure compliancy there. And then create your document that's functional, right? Do all of this before you start doing any of your writing. And I think you'll find that once you do this once or twice, you're going to say, hey, you know what? I can reuse this over and over and over and over again. So you're really building the wheel and avoiding the recreation of that wheel by using the FAR 52212-1, which I guarantee you will see 85% of the time if you read down into the solicitation documents there. And then write, price, review, and repeat, right? Do that till you've got it right. Complete all the forms, deliver it to yourself to verify that you have packaged it correctly and did not leave anything out there, and that your email looks good to yourself before you fire that off to the contracting officer. And then do the follow-up there. So we do this a lot there, so I hope this has been informative. And if you have any questions, you'll have my contact information. I'm happy to answer any additional questions. So Mallory, I think that does it for me.
All right. Thank you, Alan, for sharing your knowledge and insight today. Today's presentation has been recorded and can be found on our website or YouTube channel within about 48 hours. If you have questions about today's topic, please contact Alan at the phone number or email shown on your screen. Thank you, everybody. This concludes the webinar.